Brandon, that's an excellent idea. In fact, that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. Zoe, you just need pencil and paper. Hey, Carolyn, what's your question?
It's not a question. Like I made an abstract painting like on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And
you made an abstract painting?
Yeah.
Can I ask you, Carolyn, when you were making this abstract art, what were your feelings? Like, what were you thinking about? Like, how were you feeling emotionally that day?
It was like kind of like in a silly mood, a silly abstract.
Cool.
I have it in the living room.
Well, you have my full permission to go get that. Let's take a look at Alex. Alex, what? Okay, explain this to me, please. Let me unmute you. Look at your proud face, as you should be. So, talk to me about this.
So I made two characters. I mean, these are both made up characters, and I decided to make them, and they looked pretty cool, so I wanted to draw them.
I love them. And you know me, you know that I am always a huge fan of the eerie, you know, mysterious, sometimes unnerving kind of art. And when I look at this, I look at these characters and I'm thinking, what are they doing? What are they up to? They are so cool. I would love for you to expand on that and maybe put a story in there. Try to figure out something for them to do, kind of flesh out their personalities a little bit. Maymore is telling me that you had a puppet show yesterday. Maymore, I had no idea, buddy. I would have gone, I promise.
Oh my gosh, Miss Beauchesne, it was amazing.
Oh, was it recorded?
No, I wish it was. But he made a full set. He made different characters. He would turn his camera off and set the scene, so he was like an hour and a half later. I mean, it was amazing.
Oh my goodness. I'm not surprised at all because he's just so imaginative, especially with his 3D art. Brayden, what's this, buddy? Brayden, unmute.
My imagination.
Your imagination? All right, let's see it.
It's not that finished. I tried to finish it, but.
Whoa. Okay, so I can see that this is mixed medium. So you used what looks like watercolor paint and either crayon marker or oil pastel.
I actually used paint to do this.
Oh, great. Well,
but for the hair, I did crayon.
Crayon, okay.
Here is crayon.
Gorgeous. Brayden, I especially love the way that watercolor kind of acts like this sort of cloudy background. You know, the watery texture of this paint really, Ariani's wondering, is that like a deadly version of Sonic? Maybe.
How does this, I don't know how it looks like Sonic. Well.
Oh, that's what's so great about art, right? It's kind of different to different people. Carolyn, are you ready? Okay, hang on. All right, Carolyn.
So I made it.
Wow. Can you pull back from the camera a little bit so I can see the whole thing? Wow. So it looks like you did a little bit of a rubbing technique where you put this piece of paper on top of something textured and then rubbed either a paintbrush or something on top to create these repetitive lines, which is a really great technique. And when I look at this, all I think about, Carolyn, is the earth. All the colors you used are earth tones. I see brown for the dirt. I see yellow for the sun. I see green for the trees. I see water for the ocean. And other people might see different things when they look at it. But when I see it, I just see it as like this really nice tribute to earth. It's really beautiful. And I love that you're experimenting with abstract. You know, People get so in their heads and they think like, I don't know how to make abstract art. That's not the point. You have a feeling, you have an emotion, you put it on paper, you let your creativity fly, and then you let other people decide what they think about it. Really great work. So guys, obviously, all I ever want to do is sit and look at your art. So let me tell you something really quick before we get sad if we didn't get to show anything yet. Listen, the last week of school, okay? The last week of school, which is coming up, wow, really fast, right? The last week of school, we are going to spend an entire class looking at any art you want to show us, okay? So don't get discouraged if you didn't get to show anything. We're spending the entire class just saying, hey, what do you want to show us? And then we'll talk about it, okay? Because that's all I've ever wanted, right? It's just to sit and look at your art. Darius, do you have a question, honey?
When is the last week of school?
Couple weeks? In a couple weeks. All right. So listen, guys. I know, right? You're going to be in the 4th grade. Wow. Yes. Oh, and when it's the show and tell day, Darius, that's gorgeous. Jaslyn, gorgeous. When it's the show and tell day, you can bring any art that you want, that you've ever made. You can bring your kindergarten art. I don't care. I just want you to bring something that you're proud of so I can tell you I'm proud of you too. So let's talk about art today, okay? Now, 3rd grade, we started to talk about, cameras on, guys. We started to talk about social justice issues before we left, right? And it got kind of triggering, kind of emotional for some of us, right? Amelia, I hope I'm your art teacher in 4th grade. I'm gonna really fight for that. So when we were talking, that's right, JL. When we were talking about social justice issues, it was triggering and it was emotional, right? And then we went home for quarantine, and then the world got even more intense and even scarier, and there's so much going on. And I just want to check in with you and just remind you of all those things that we talked about in the classroom, all right? Like when you're feeling that, you know, the world is hopeless, or that change won't happen, or if you're getting discouraged or, you know, afraid, I just want you to remember that the things in the classroom that we talked about are still true now. For example, how brave you are, how smart you are, how wonderful you are, and how much I love you. So now we're gonna mix social justice with a lesson about wallpaper. What? Wallpaper? That's right. Let's take a quick look. Let me share my audio with you. Share computer sound. Let's take a quick look at this video about how wallpaper is made.
It's wallpaper that's the cause of all this artistry. For behind Parr's painstaking plans for patching up the parlor is a complex and colourful world.
It's very British and very popular, very fancy, so pay attention.
It's a world of many skills, a peaceful world where routing means the delicate art of cutting the artist's design into sycamore wood. The routing machine is not revolutionary. It was introduced in 1920 and is guided round the traced design, leaving it in relief for printing. Colours are mixed exactly to match the artist's original scheme. Colour abounds here, swirling colour that spins you on to the next stage in this world of wallpaper, the printing. Old world hand block printing that Caxton created. Even in these machine-mad days, it's still the best for special work. This is the 3rd colour being printed on a 3-colour design. How about a wall full of peacock's power? If not, there's plenty more to choose from. A handy hand printer can knock his block off 800 yards of paper a day. That block's taken from a William Morris design and is 70 or 80 years old. If the artist had realized it would still be admired by countless home decorators, he'd have probably danced for joy. A Morris dance?
So Fatumata chatted me and said, so I can't do that. I don't have the supplies. I don't either. Don't worry. But we just watched a very fancy video, very British, fancy video about wallpaper, right? So wallpaper, it's what covers the walls, right? It's especially crafted, and the main agenda of showing you that video is to show how painstakingly slow that process actually is. So it takes forever to make these sheets of wallpaper, and all of these different skills like wood carving, printmaking, painting. So let me tell you, do you think that wallpaper goes in like a really, really fancy building or a really, really poor building? Where do you think that goes? You can chat me at any time. If it takes that long to make and that many artists to make it, Fatimata says that's a fancy building, right? That's exactly right, Fatimata. Yep, rich, fancy, wealthy. You're all exactly right. So yes, that's right, Maymore. Maymore says very fancy in a British accent. So now the reason to have very, very expensive wallpaper is basically a statement for those who come into your house to say, look how wealthy I am. Look how rich I am. Look at my status. Look at my wealth. Okay. That's basically a way to say, this is how rich I am. Welcome to my house. The reason I talk to you about this, it's okay, Maymore. The reason I talk to you about this is because there are a couple of artists out there that decided to take a social justice issue and put it on wallpaper instead. So instead of having this really fancy, elegant, wealthy design, they decided to put the social justice image of their choice on wallpaper as a statement. Now, what do you think that statement would be? If you were an artist and you grew up looking at all this fancy wallpaper, but you knew the world wasn't right and that there was war and famine and unequal rights, why do you think you would put that on such a fancy surface like wallpaper? Why would you do that? Matthew?
I would do that because if like a lot of people look at wallpaper and like they like it, then maybe because they're putting like the bad things that are happening on the wallpaper, it might encourage people to to stay calm and for them to not get super worried or like unhope, like have no hope.
Yeah, I mean, what if your whole apartment was covered in wallpaper that had a significant message about how to stay positive and hopeful? That would be a great message to send. Now, let me talk to you about these artists and why their wallpaper is so interesting. Take a look at this image right here, okay? This was made in 2002. What do you see in it? A lake. You see people. Noelani, okay, so we're not gonna write on the screen, guys. Noelani, what do you notice about it?
What I noticed about it is that it has like a lot of details and it looks very real and like you could see many things.
Very good. It's realistic. Okay. There's a lot of stuff going on too. For the sake of time, I wish I could just sit here and listen to all the things. Josiah, you got to get your camera on, baby. Ashley, Manko, you need your cameras on. James, Brandon, Zoe Stukes, put your camera on, please. So I wish I could just sit and think about or listen to what you think this all is, but for the sake of time, I'll tell you. This person took, oh, Josiah, I understand, thank you. So look at this, Almami camera on, Maggie camera on, Brandon Martin camera on. So look at the images of that really peaceful land, the peaceful trees, the peaceful lake, okay? That is juxtaposed with images of the Afghanistan war, okay? So what do you think this message is? You have this really fancy wallpaper with really fancy landscape, and then peppered all into it is pictures from the Afghanistan war. What do you think that message is? Peyton camera, Almami camera. JL thinks it's a message to remind people to be peaceful. Oh, Peyton, your shirt's got primary colors. To always be brave. Very good, Braden. Maymore says it's in order to promote world peace. Satimata, to have peace again. Excellent observations. Zoe, you have 2 warnings at this time. You are not permitted to leave. This is a class. You need to be in attendance, you need to be paying attention, and you need to be a part of the class. If your camera goes off, it's going to be a color change, and I can just talk to Ms. Royer and write a letter home. Matthew and Amelia, to remind you to be peaceful, to remind you to be calm. Excellent job. Thank you, Brandon. Okay, so let's take a look at another one. Now, when I look at the wallpaper that we just discussed, when I see this, like, you know, pastoral, really beautiful work of art, and then I see that it's peppered with images from something like the Afghanistan war, it makes me think that maybe if we have wallpaper in our house that shows how fancy and great everything is, and then we fill it with pictures of things about the world that are actually pretty awful, kind of helps us to remind ourselves that we can paint a picture that our life is great or the world is great, but inside things can be difficult, and that's okay to embrace these things. Let's look at another one. From far away, what do you think this is? Ooh, Nadia said that last one was to remember that there was a change in history after that war. Matthew says heads. You're right, Matthew. So this artist made this image for a reason. This wallpaper was made for a reason. This artist is Asian, and he was really put off by the statement that all Asian people either look alike or are alike. And he thinks that it's offensive, and it is. So what he did was he made this wallpaper out of all the faces in his yearbook from high school. Okay, so there's all these different people. These are not, Kyer, that's a really good guess. This really isn't about like showing like an important world leader or anything. This image is all the pictures from his yearbook growing up, okay? And from far away, Zoe camera on, it's now a color change. That's right, Noelani. And so, sorry, what was I saying? So he was offended by the statement that all Asian people either are alike or look alike. And that's not true. Everybody's different, right? No matter what your race, no matter what you look like or what your skin color is, you are your own person. So from far away, you just see a bunch of heads. But if you look up close, you see that each different one is unique and specific to that person. So this artist thought, how can I show that we are all different and unique and special, you know? And so he thought on the outside, it looks like all these people are the same, or it's just like one big image of a person. But when you zoom in, they're all different. They all have their own story. They all have their own world, their own lives. So now let's talk about social justice. What are some social justice issues? And I would like Brandon Crumble to give us our first social justice issue that we can add to our list of a brainstorm. Sorry, Brandon, can you unmute yourself? What's a social justice issue that we can put for our wallpaper?
Police brutality.
Yes, police brutality. What's another one? You guys can chat me if you want. What's another social justice issue either we talked about in class? Or that, yep, that's one. So we have police brutality, racism, Black Lives Matter, justice, equality, coronavirus, global pandemics, global warming, protest, either good or bad, pride events. Thank you Zoe Stanley for that. Oh yeah, so that seems, Matthew, like unsafe living conditions, right? School shootings. Very good, Nadia. So this is a pretty intense list of things that are wrong in our world today. And we've talked about it in class before, and it's really heavy, right? But we also talked about how art can help you through these global issues. Art will be there for you before, during, and after. So let's start to think about which social justice that we want, right? To choose for our wallpaper. And what are some images that we can use for that social justice wallpaper? First, I would love someone to chat me what their social justice issue choice is. Brayden wrote Black Lives Matter. So Brayden, I'm gonna come find you. Aisha said the same thing. So Brayden, I'm just gonna type your name here. Brayden, what are some images you could use that are repetitive for your Black Lives Matter wallpaper?
A face of someone kneeling down.
Oh, so you would go back and forth between a man's face and someone kneeling down?
Mm-hmm.
That's very powerful. Who else has an idea and they would want to share it? I'm going to come over to Fatumata. Fatumata, what would be your social justice issue?
My social justice issue will be like different places that some people know, and some people know, and animals that are in danger, because without animals, the human race will begin to die, just like some of the animal species that got extinct, like the dinosaurs.
I completely agree. So Fatumata, what are two images that you can go back and forth between for your pattern of wallpaper?
Animals and art. Animals and art.
Excellent. And then I'm just going to quickly come over to, that's great, Brandon Martin. You can use that in your wallpaper. I'm going to quickly come over to Maymore because he has a fantastic idea. Maymore, can you tell the class your idea? Are you comfortable with that?
Like schematrons.
My idea was that I will also do Black Lives Matter. It's like a fist for the drawing. So like for the sign for Black Lives Matter.
Excellent idea. So, okay, here's what we're gonna do. On your paper, oh, let me turn the camera on. You're gonna hold it the hot dog way. Remember that? We're gonna hold it the hot dog way. And 1 second, guys. There we go. You're going to make 3 rows, okay? So I'm just gonna make a line from side to side, 1, 2 times, and that's gonna create 3 equally sized rows. Okay? And then I'll draw a line right down the middle from top to bottom. To make this wallpaper, because as we saw with the wallpaper we saw earlier, it's repetitive. It's the same thing over and over and over again to fill a large space. So I need to repeat the same things over again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I need to create a pattern. Now, someone said they wanted their cross to be Black Lives Matter, and they wanted the Black Lives Matter fist, okay? So if that's something we wanted to do, and this isn't going to be a nicely done sketch, this is just quick to help you get started. Okay, Black Lives Matter fist. And then what is another image I can use that has something to do with the Black Lives Matter social justice movement? Who has ideas about that? Kneeling. Very good. Someone kneeling. Okay, so again, just a basic sketch of someone kneeling. And I would have to draw this over and over and over again. And if I wanted to make it decorative, maybe I could switch to person kneeling, Black Power fist, and then go back to Black Power fist and person kneeling. But I really want to mix it up and still keep that pattern. So at this time, I would like for you guys to start filling in your boxes with a pattern based on your social justice issue. And if you have any questions at all, you can chat me directly. So Zoe Stooks, this is now red. You are now on red. Please chat me directly if you have any questions, or if you feel like you did 2 images from your pattern that you'd like to share with the class and you're ready, chat me and tell me I'm ready. Secure, I would love to see it. Let me come find you and then I'll spotlight you. Yeah, that's fine, Jaslyn. Hi, Secure.
Well, I haven't really finished drawing it, but I'm going to draw a black person and a white person shaking hands.
Ooh, that's a great idea. Are you going to do anything, any other symbols?
Yes.
Okay, like what?
like like I might do something like staying like a home signal by staying inside and
Oh, okay.
protesting signal.
Oh, excellent. Great idea. All right, Nadia, I'm coming. So Matthew, if you're struggling to figure out what to draw, think about the issue that resonates with you most. And then try to think of, when you close your eyes and think of that issue, what are the images that come to mind? Okay, so some things that I've seen from coronavirus are masks and the hand washing logo over and over and over again. Hey, Nadia. Trying to spotlight you, hang on. Excellent drawing of the Black Power fist. Awesome. Joelle, right now you're just making wallpaper based on a social justice issue.
Camera, you hear me? They want
You're
to
gonna-
leave.
You're going to pick a
alone.
social justice issue, and then you're going to create images in a pattern based on that issue. Oh yeah, coughing, that's true too. Evilise. Oh, there we go. Evilise, how's it going for you?
For me, I'm going good.
Yeah, what's your wallpaper? Can we see?
Okay. For this side right here, I wrote BLM, which stands for Black Lives Matter, and then on the bottom, I wrote a peace sign to show that we all deserve peace, and not just whites, also blacks.
Yeah.
I think that because my mom's told me that ever since we were alive, everyone has said blacks and browns first, and then for the second picture, I wrote a picture of a white and then a picture of a black, and then in between them, I wrote equal, which shows that I want blacks and whites to all be equal.
Evilise, that is outstanding. Keep going and fill up the paper, okay? Excellent work. Okay, JL, I'm coming. Da-da, da-da. Here I am. Let's see.
So far I have the math symbol, and I was gonna draw like a white person and then a black person that are next to each other,
Beautiful.
but they're not looking at each other.
Oh, interesting. And what are your thoughts behind what your wallpaper represents?
That we should stay home, and even though the black and white people are disagreeing with the policeman, we should still just stay home.
To be safe. Okay, beautiful drawings as usual, JL. Brandon just asked me, does it have to be pictures or can it be symbols? It can absolutely be symbols. Maymore, hey buddy. Maymore, first of all, I can't believe that I had no idea there was a puppet show. Please know that I would have gone if I knew, because I heard you were great. So how's your wallpaper coming? Wow.
A heart of a black person and a white person.
And someone kneeling?
Yeah.
Wow. Can you hold that really still so I can take a picture of it? Would that be okay if I took a picture of it? All right, nice and still. Beautiful. That is an excellent example of social justice wallpaper. You're using a pattern, you're using symbolism, you chose your social justice issue wisely, and it's very well done. So you guys can either hold it up to the screen or chat me if you want to share yours with the class. Yeah, Brandon, I'm coming.
Well, it's like a picture. It's like this picture. But they're not really spelled the same. They spell backwards, but it's supposed to say Black Lives Matter. And this picture represents all the people that got killed by the police. This picture is what I use to make me like calm and help and it helps me being really good. And this is a response that uh, somebody named Mara Andrea said in a protest maybe. And
Wow.
and we also have this one, and it has like like a lot of people in the background and then one person on top, and they're all putting up the Black Lives Matter sign.
Wow, Brandon, what a powerful wall you have. Did you go to a protest?
Yeah, yesterday.
You did? I went to a Black Lives Matter in protest in Times Square on Sunday. And I did. And
Did you know that there was a protest at George Washington on the White House on the sidewalk of the White House, and they changed the name to the Black
Lives Matter?
Black House. No, not just the Black Lives Matter. Like they added black and then a word next to Avenue. No, oh yeah, the Black Avenue Street.
Yes. That's pretty remarkable, right? And it's really exciting to see what protests can do. I went to the protest, and my partner and I were interviewed. And this is a picture right here of us at the protest. You can see that we're holding our signs. And when they interviewed us, they said, "Why are you here?" And I said, "Well, I'm a white teacher and I teach students of color. And I want them to be proud of me, and I want them to know that I'm proud of them. And oh, and Sakir went to a protest too. And some of you want to, but you can't. But you know what? Making art is a form of protest, okay? Making art alone by yourself, that's a form of protest, okay? You have the chance to make a difference, even if it's just making art for yourself. January.
Were you on the news?
No.
Oh.
No, it wasn't for TV.
I was going to go on YouTube, and then I was going to watch like the interview.
Oh, no. So it's not on YouTube or anything like that. Darius, I'm coming. Oops, I just unmuted Dariani by accident.
I think
okay, I am. Hey, there you are. Yes, Aisha, yes.
I think I'm going to a protest this weekend.
Oh, really?
I think.
Okay, well, you know, the most important thing is just being safe and staying with the people that you went with, okay? Aisha, would you like to share with the class what you've done so far? Hi, honey.
So first, what I did was I did a sign, and I did like a protest with lots of people.
You did? That's wonderful.
And then after that, I did one person with the sign,
and then many people with signs. And then after that, I did a black and white person friends.
Aw, that's really sweet. Great ideas, Aisha. So scholars, as class comes nearer to a closing, this art is so impactful and so meaningful to me. Brandon, that's wonderful. That's really wonderful. So this art is so special and so meaningful, and I would love to really see it. So if you don't have time to share today, can you please send it to me on Jupiter? I'm gonna come over to Kyer. Hey, Kyer.
Hi. So what I made is that I put Black Lives Matter, and also I also wrote a house, and I put a check over it, and I put somebody shaking hands, and I put a X over it.
Aww. Wow, so two very serious issues happening at the same time. It's a very chaotic world, but you incorporated them both into your wallpaper. That's really cool. All right, Brayden, you made some more, can we see? All right, oh, you're lying down. I was so confused. I was like, why is your camera sideways? It's not, you're just lying down. Great, let's see. Oh, there, whoop, where'd you go? All right.
This is my little drawing that I made right now, and at the top it says, "We all deserve justice."
Absolutely, that is absolutely right. Beautiful. So scholars, if you want to keep creating social justice issue based art, then first of all, you don't have to show it to me, just so you know. You can keep it just for yourself. Oh, thanks, Noelani. But if you want to show it, I would love to see it. You can send it to me on Jupiter. So we're gonna close with looking at Owens. And Mr. James, I understand if you have a class and you need to go.
So I did a hand for the Black Lives Matter, and then I drew a sign to